Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you're all doing really well. As I mentioned last week, I've been taking a little bit of a break from posting daily videos. So I've really been taking the time to kind of slow down a little bit and process and integrate some of the energies that have been coming up around the full moon. So I really hope that you've been able to do the same for yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into shuffling. I'm going to be doing a 7 chakra read today. So I'm going to start with the root chakra, and then we're going to channel our way up towards the crown chakra and just see what messages want to come through. Now, if I get partway through the channeling and this video is starting to get a bit long, I will continue it onto the extended version of this reading, which will be available on either Patreon or YouTube memberships. So you can access it from either place depending on your personal preference, and the links to access the extended are in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. For those of you who may be new to the channel, I want to let you know as well that I do channel these collective readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And each of those readings has an extended version of the reading available on either YouTube memberships or Patreon. So those extended channelings happen 3 times per week on the same days and times as well. So when you do join the memberships or Patreon, you're getting access to 3 additional extended videos every single week. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the traditional tarot cards, and I'm starting with the root chakra. And immediately as I opened up the root chakra energy, I heard something is coming together. And this very much feels like it's been happening behind the scenes. So this really may be something that you've let go of or surrendered, because the sense I get about whatever is coming together for you is that there's almost something unexpected about it, almost like, okay, I completely surrendered this, I completely let this go. And little did I know that as I was surrendering it, it was actually all coming together behind the scenes, because I feel that whatever is coming to fruition for you here, you aren't really fully aware of that process. So what is coming together for you? I feel that we could be channeling into multiple different threads of energy. So of course, I always say use your intuition and only take the messages that do resonate for you in a personal and intuitive way. Okay, so first of all, we have the 5 of Wands in the upright position. So this is going to be a specific message for someone listening, but for someone listening, there's been some kind of conflict, and it feels like a long-standing kind of tension rather than like an active conflict. It also feels as though this could be internal conflict or external. So if this is internal conflict, there's some kind of point of tension here, something that you've been feeling internally conflicted about for quite some time. There's been like this underlying tension beneath the surface. Maybe this comes to making some kind of choice or decision. Maybe there has been something that you've been trying to move forward from, or some kind of choice you've been trying to make, but somehow you feel like you're constantly meeting this sort of internal conflict about whatever this is for you. Now, if this is external tension, again, the feeling I get is it's very much an underlying external tension, meaning this doesn't really feel like active conflict or active arguments with another person. It feels like some point of tension that's kind of just like been beneath the surface, or maybe it's not even a point of tension with a person, but with some kind of dynamic or situation in your life. But whatever this is, I very much feel as though a resolution to this conflict is happening behind the scenes. So I want to see what this might be potentially. What is the resolution to this conflict? I keep getting the sense that, and again, I feel like we're talking in such like quantum energetic terms here. So hopefully this makes sense. Sometimes it can be difficult to find the words to describe some of these quantum level sorts of ideas and energies and messages that come through. But I'm really getting like something new coming into this situation that brings sudden, not even sudden as much as a really peaceful sense of clarity. It doesn't feel jarring. It feels like something comes in either like to your life, or maybe it's a new person that you meet, or a friend or a mentor or a guide, or like a piece of information that comes in. Something comes in and brings peace and resolution here. And it does feel like something coming to you externally, whatever this thing is that enters the situation, so to speak. It feels very unexpected. So like there are many different ways to apply this energy, but like, for example, you may have been really stuck on making some kind of decision like, I don't know how I'm supposed to move forward with my career or with my work or with my life or whatever it is. But then what I'm getting is that unexpectedly you receive either a piece of information, or you may, for example, if this is romantic and you've been unsure of how to move forward in your love life, maybe you meet someone new or you receive a piece of information about someone currently in your life. And somehow this brings you a kind of peace and also resolves whatever that point of tension was, internally or externally. So can I get any more information on this resolution that comes through? I'm hearing something comes in and shows you a contrast. So for some of you, this could already be happening. For others of you, this will be happening soon. But like, for example, if you've been really unsure about something related to your career or your life path, maybe something comes in that you actually feel really excited about or really passionate about that begins to pull you in a strong way. And because of that contrast, because of the contrast between that new exciting kind of idea or interest and whatever it is that you've been doing, the path that you've been on, something becomes very clear to you and you're able to move forward. Now, of course, it could be the same in your social group. Maybe you've been really struggling to know how to handle certain social situations. For some of you, I'm hearing that you may have lost a lot of friends recently, and you may have found yourself in a state of being more lonely than usual. But then at the same time, you've been kind of thinking to yourself, well, I just don't really know if I can keep connecting with the same kinds of people in my life, because something about these dynamics are starting to feel misaligned for me or starting to feel draining. And then it's like you meet a new friend or you socialize with a new group that just gets you, that you're able to easily connect with. And you see such a contrast between that and the people or groups you've tried to socialize with in the past. And that makes it very clear to you that maybe friendship or socializing can look different for you. It can look more like a mutually reinforcing, sort of soulful, aligned community instead of maybe the way it looked for you in the past. Now, of course, this could also apply to your love life, but I'm getting that like there's some kind of contrast that gets set up here that reveals something to you and brings you a sense of closure or resolution. It resolves that point of tension, but it also allows you to move forward, not in a dramatic, jarring kind of way, but in a peaceful, knowing sort of way. Like you just know the next step to take here. That's the sense that I'm getting here. And I'm hearing wait until it feels natural. So if you are in the middle of making some kind of choice or decision and nothing really feels right for you, I'm hearing that may be a sign that none of those pathways are really quite in alignment for you yet. And the message may be to wait for something to really pull you in such a strong way that it just feels right to you. It just feels natural for you. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle here. I feel like we've spent enough time on the root chakra, so I'm going to go up to the sacral chakra and just see what wants to come through here. Okay, so what is happening on the sacral chakra? For some reason, I heard the word housework. Maybe someone is decluttering or doing housework. Okay, so here we have the 9 of Cups and also the Queen of Pentacles. So right now, your sacral chakra seems to be the powerhouse of manifestation. When it comes to manifesting your dreams, it's that feeling of passion, that feeling of curiosity that seems to be pulling you in the direction that is leading to the manifestation of your dreams and goals at this time. So nurturing that sacral chakra energy is very important. With the Queen of Pentacles here in the upright position, I'm getting the sense of you taking all of your healing energy and pouring it back into yourself. Because yes, of course, you are a very empathetic, generous person. So you do tend to give that energy outward towards others. But I'm getting that lately you've been called to pour that energy and pour that focus back into your own self in a purer way that is focusing you in such a way that is actually bringing about these powerful wish manifestations in your life. But I'm also getting something about how it's interesting that the 9 of Cups, the card for wish fulfillment, is coming out on the sacral chakra, which is connecting with pleasure, with being in the moment, with sensuality, with following your passion, following your curiosity. Notice how this card is connecting there and not really so much with the headspace. So I'm actually getting that at this point on your journey with manifesting, whatever it is you are envisioning or manifesting in your life, it actually seems that the mind in many ways seems to be holding you back more than it's moving you forward right now, meaning that, of course, the mind has a time and place where it can be a very useful tool. But I feel that when it comes to manifesting, your soul already knows the way and your soul is leading you one step at a time through those feelings of passion, through those feelings of pull. And as you are following those, as you are allowing your sacral energy to be lit up in a way, to light the way in front of you, the color orange, by the way, may be significant to someone. But as you are doing that, that seems to be how you are manifesting so effortlessly in your life. Whereas it's almost as though every time the mind gets over involved or you begin to think, wait, I feel like I need to plan this out in advance, or I need to be more careful about this or think more deeply about this, like in an intellectual way. I feel like often that kind of intellectualizing right now on your path, as opposed to allowing yourself to feel and to follow those feelings, seems to be kind of like weighting down your energy. That seems to be the best way that I can describe it here. Now, I do feel that it's strange because there is a level of focus and discipline here, but not the kind that we are traditionally accustomed to. It's the discipline of continuously veering yourself back into the present moment instead of allowing yourself to get lost and stuck in your head. So it's almost like, it's funny because many people feel like they have to kind of discipline their mind to think more deeply about certain things before making decisions, or to kind of over intellectualize things. But I'm getting that you're the kind of person that's kind of the opposite. You naturally think very, very deeply about things, and actually to the point that sometimes your mind can weigh you down because it can prevent you from feeling that pull within your spirit that is leading you in a direction that is more aligned and more effortless and more harmonious than your mind can pre-plan in advance. So I want to see if there's anything else. I heard art. So if you are an artist or someone who creates, I feel that one major sign you will know that you are on track with your manifestations generally, that you are aligned with your highest timeline, is that you will begin to find yourself feeling more inspired and creative when it comes to your art. It will just feel as though it's flowing. And you know, this is really reminding me of when I was younger, because I've been singing and songwriting for as long as I can remember, and I now do share my music through my Spotify artist name, which is Songs by Infinity. So I just recently released my 3rd channeled song. I'm so passionate about creating and sharing music with all of you. So if you do want to listen to my music and follow me on Spotify, then the link to my most recent song is in the description box of this video. But I've been songwriting since I was a child, and I remember that I put together in my head that I could tell when I was really walking my highest path, or when I was really in alignment with myself, because I would be able to songwrite effortlessly. And it didn't mean that everything was perfect in my life all the time. Of course, things would happen that would rattle me, or that would upset me, or that would be difficult. But as long as I could still sing and write songs, and I felt like my art was flowing in that way, I knew that I was still staying connected with that core, deeper part of myself. And on the flip side of this, I knew that if I was connecting with a particular person, or on a particular life path, or living a certain way, and suddenly I would go weeks or months without feeling inspired to sing or to write songs, I would always know deep in my soul that I wasn't really aligned with my true highest path, no matter how good it may have looked on the surface. And I feel that many of you may relate to that as artists in your own way. Maybe it is music for you, or maybe it's something entirely different, but you most likely have a way of expressing yourself in this world. And you can always tell when you're connected to your inner self, because that valve is open for you creatively. And when you're more shut off from connecting with your inner self, it may feel as though that valve is more closed. So I'm really curious, by the way, in the comments, if any of you relate to that, because I don't think I've ever shared that with anyone, but I really felt guided to share that little piece of my own story here. And I would love to know your thoughts and your experiences with that, if you have any of your own, in the comments section, because I've said this before, but I always really love reading through your comments. It really feels like we are, in a way, a group of 300,000 friends from all over the world. And I'm so grateful to live in a time and in an age with these kinds of platforms and technologies that allow us to connect in these ways. So I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle the cards here. I did also get the 4 of Swords reversed. And what that tells me is, if you have been feeling a bit depleted when it comes to your creative energy, it may be that simply right now you need a little time to rest and play, and maybe reconnect with your inner child a little bit, because I'm getting that things in your life may have gotten very heavy or very intense recently, or maybe there were just some intense emotions coming up around the full moon. So that could be relevant for someone. I got the letter initials CAR. That could also spell car for someone, which could be relevant for a person listening. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there is anything else on the sacral chakra. I'm actually going to go to the energy oracle deck. Okay, so I am shuffling the energy oracle cards now. And what else can I channel from this sacral chakra energy? I'm seeing the sun. So there could be something about getting out in the sun or sunbathing, and how getting some sunshine could actually be beneficial for activating your sacral chakra energy. But we also have women holding a coin in the upright position. So I do feel that for some reason I'm getting, this won't be for everyone, but for a specific group here, I'm getting that for someone listening, you may have had certain fears, anxieties, or insecurities surfacing a little bit lately. And this actually could have been kind of dampening your sacral chakra energy a little bit, just kind of preventing you from feeling fully lit up or fully connecting in with that flow internally. Again, this message will only be for a certain group of people, but I'm getting that this may have happened for you specifically around the full moon. I'm getting the word overwhelm. So you may have just felt a feeling of like energetic or emotional overwhelm at times that kind of shut off that feeling of moving with the flow. Now, for the group that I'm speaking to here, I want to know the purpose of what was surfacing. I heard the word expansion. I heard a shift in perspective. So it may be that there's been certain anxieties or fears or things kind of like bubbling under the surface of your energy that were actually there for a while. But the gift, well, of course, in the moment, it doesn't always feel like a gift, but the gift in a greater cosmic sense of what this full moon may have illuminated or surfaced for you internally when it comes to these fears or anxieties or insecurities or whatever the case was, is that I feel it was actually only bringing to light what was already there to help you to accomplish some kind of shift in perspective or like pivot towards the light, pivot towards something else that would bring you a deeper sense of peace or a deeper sense of fulfillment, or maybe it was bringing something to the surface to allow you to reframe whatever that was in your own mind and actually shift that energy through shifting your perspective. Because one thing I'm getting in general with the collective energy right now is that perspective is extremely important, because so much of what we are experiencing right now is entirely based on how we perceive it. So we can actually become the alchemists of our own lives and transmute energy simply by, in many cases, shifting how we perceive a particular situation in our lives or perceive something taking place. Like I'm hearing, put it in the bigger picture. So for some of you, maybe there was some kind of anxiety or fear, and you're being asked to reframe it by putting it in the context of a bigger picture that allows you to like have that turn towards the light, have that shift towards a more beneficial kind of perspective. So can I get any more information about this? I know that was a little bit vague. I'm not sure exactly who that's going to be connecting with. I just get the sense of someone having some feelings of overwhelm or some feelings of raw vulnerability surfacing a little bit there. So what can I channel from the sacral chakra? Yeah, this stuck energy frees itself when you let go of your mind and lean more into your passion, lean more into that feeling of pull within you that can't always be fully explained or described or put into words, but is guiding you always in alignment with this higher pathway for yourself. I know we've been kind of reiterating that point, but something that the guides are bringing through so strongly is simply the power of kind of getting your mind out of the way here and leaning more into what is lighting you up, what is pulling you, what is making you feel some kind of fire within you, some kind of emotion. Even if it doesn't fully make sense to the mind, because I definitely get this kind of tug of war happening for someone where they may have been kind of feeling that sense of pull or passion in certain directions, but then questioning it or overthinking it or labeling it as a distraction or a waste of time because they may not have fully understood why they were feeling pulled in that direction. But I'm hearing that that feeling of passion, that feeling of pull is telling you something important here. And it's actually leading you towards this like manifestation. It's just that you can't, through your conscious mind, see how all of those steps forward are going to play out exactly. So let's go ahead and move up to the solar plexus chakra. And I'm going to stick with the energy oracle cards for now. So I just want to know, what can I channel from the sacral chakra energy? there's something coming up about self-confidence. We do have the third chakra in the reverse position, which is this chakra center. So I'm hearing a shift in identity. You may feel as though your sense of yourself or your identity has been shifting a lot lately. Can I get any more on this? Yeah, you may feel a bit unsure of exactly where you are going or where your life is going with the third eye chakra in the reverse position. And yet, where you're heading is very valuable. With door to value in the upright position, I actually feel like you're moving into this really vibrant, really beautiful, really abundant kind of state and energy. But you aren't able to necessarily fully see that yet in a concrete way or fully understand it. And that's where that shift in identity is coming into play. We also have door to romance upright. So I see that it's ironic because at first I was channeling how there's like possibly this shift in identity that could be kind of temporarily destabilizing you or making you wonder, who am I? How do I fit into the world? Am I moving in the right direction? I almost just feel someone questioning themselves here. And yet we have such beautiful cards like doors opening here for you as well. With door to romance and door to value, it's like all of this love and all of this abundance both seem to be opening up for you, but in a very unexpected way. And it actually seems to be happening not in spite of this shift in identity, but actually because of it. I get the sense of someone who's just shifted timelines in a really big way and hasn't fully necessarily regained their footing yet from that. So you may be someone who's felt that there's been some kind of major, powerful shift recently in your life, but it's also altered your sense of identity. And this may have left you feeling a little bit ungrounded, but please understand, if this is you, that the path that you are upon, this timeline that you've shifted into, even if right now it feels a little ungrounding, a little destabilizing, it actually holds tremendous value. And again, there's a very powerful door opening here, specifically in love and romance. Now, of course, only take this if it connects for you. But I'm getting that for some of you, this could be someone new that you've recently met or will be connecting with. This could be the harmonization of a past connection. I feel for many of you, though, there's like a new energy here. It feels brand new. So even if this is someone from your past, know that in that case, this would be someone coming in with a brand new energy. Like an energy so new, it almost feels unrecognizable when you look at their past form versus their current form. But again, this literally could be someone entirely new. I'm getting that the number 333 here may relate to as well. And with the attachment card reversed, I'm getting that in order to open up this abundance and also this romance pathway for you, both of these pathways, attachments that were weighing you down had to be cut out of your life. Now, I've spoken a lot on this in recent readings because this has been a powerful kind of energy coming through around these attachments, or in some readings, I've referred to these as doors that have been closing or that you've shut to past versions of yourself or to connections that may have been draining you, or dynamics that you may have realized weren't serving you. But what I'm getting about these attachments is that with the World card and the Cornucopia card both reversed and Rest and Rejuvenation reversed, I feel like they were keeping your energy unfocused in a way and like distracted away from yourself, away from putting energy back into your own self, but also your own dreams and visions. Not that these individuals or situations were necessarily pulling your focus away from your dreams and goals intentionally, but something about the nature of those connections or the way that your energy was interacting with theirs was causing you to feel almost like you were in a fog. It was causing you to feel unfocused, to feel distracted, because it was almost like your energy was being pulled all of these different directions. And I'm also getting, of course, with man holding a heart at the bottom of the deck in the upright position, it's like, just like at the beginning of this reading, when we were talking about how something new can enter your life and show you a contrast that makes you realize why something else felt so unclear because it simply wasn't right for you. I have to say, for some of you, I'm really getting that in love, that like, for some of you listening, you may have noticed that a lot of dynamics have been cut out of your life, especially romantically, that had left your energy feeling a little bit frazzled or a little bit foggy or distracted. And maybe you've had a lot of experiences like that where when you would move forward with someone romantically, or maybe this is friendships that we're talking about, social connections, but however it resonates, it's like when you would move forward with that connection, you would slowly start to feel yourself more and more unfocused, more and more distracted from your true purpose, your true self, your true goals and vision. And I feel the guides coming through here to say that with the right person, like romantically, or the right people in terms of a community or a social group, you will feel more motivated and inspired towards your goals, towards your dreams, not less. You will feel more nourished and more supported, not as though every time you interact or engage with them, you're being depleted. And that is how you know the difference. And so with Man Holding a Heart here, I feel quite literally for some of you, you have never really experienced in a full-blown kind of way, either in love or in your friendships, where you're actually being really, truly seen and supported on your path instead of feeling drained, depleted, or distracted. And I'm getting that you are going to have the opportunity to experience what it's like to actually connect with a person or a group of people that truly support you and nourish you and inspire you along your journey. And that seems to be a major blessing coming in for you because you've had the courage to cut out these negative attachments and distractions, because you've taken this shift to a higher timeline where this abundance and this love are opening up for you, as we channeled earlier. And so I really do just want to say congratulations, because if you are finding this video, I really feel that that in itself is a sign, especially if this has resonated so far, that you are one of those who has recently let go of a lot of negativity, distractions, or draining energies in your life. And yes, there may be kind of an emptiness there. And we've talked about this in some of our recent readings, but it's actually such a beautiful thing, because what it means is that you've shifted onto a timeline where you are going to experience a kind of love and support and community that you've never experienced before. And in connection with that, there's going to be doors of abundance opening up for you as well, opportunities like materially speaking and in terms of your success that you never would have even imagined were possible in the past. So I'm hearing something about how it's all because you had the courage to walk alone. So you may be someone that was only able to get to this point on your spiritual journey because you've never been afraid to be true to yourself, even if it does mean walking alone at times. And that commitment to yourself is finally beginning to really pay off in this harvest season that I'm sensing for you here. So I am going to continue this reading onto our extended version. So if it has been resonating for you and you feel guided to the extended, the link to that, again, either on YouTube memberships or Patreon, is in the pinned comment and description box. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, and you can follow now my channeled music on my Spotify, Songs by Infinity. I am wishing you a beautiful day and start to your week. And as always, I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's collective reading.